Welcome back. Now with your weather forecast, here's Amy Douglas.
The GTA will be getting a bit of a break from winter's wrath today, and while flurries are in the forecast, no accumulation is expected. It'll be a cold one though, with only a high of 0 and a low of -2, feeling much colder at times with the wind chill. Saturday will bring a few more flurries with a high of 3 and a low of -2. Skies will clear for Sunday, mainly sunny with only periods of cloud coverage. The temperature, a high of 4 and a low of -2. Temperatures will begin to rise for back to school Monday. We'll see a high of 7 and a low of 1. Tuesday will be warmer still with a high of 11 and a low of 4. It's still a fair few days before Tuesday's warmer temperatures set in, so in the meantime, bundle up. That's all for me in your 5-day forecast. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Amy. Now turning to national and international news. Violence is continuing in Rio de Janeiro amid an ongoing push to clean up the city's drug trade. Police and military are surrounding the drug-controlled shantytown of Aliamo. The Brazilian slum is one of 2 major hotspots for drug and gang-related activity. The violence, raging since Sunday, has seen 25 people killed and 200 detained. Officials won't comment on whether they'll hold off or move into the town today. Rio de Janeiro is set to host the 2014 World Cup of Soccer and the 2016 Summer Olympics.
Tension continues to rise between South and North Korea as North Korea says the region is on the brink of war. What sounded like artillery shelling was heard today on the South Korean island attacked earlier this week, but authorities say it was just an artillery test drill within North Korea. The United States is sending a fleet of warships to conduct a joint training exercise with South Korea in the Yellow Sea. The U.S.-South Korean drills are scheduled to begin Sunday.
Quebec Sun TV has just been given the go-ahead to broadcast. The CRTC made the announcement giving the right-leaning news and opinion network the green light to operate as a specialty channel.
The figures are in for police expenditures during last summer's G20 and G8 summits in Toronto and Huntsville. The cost? Over $56 million. Police spent $1.4 million on gas masks alone, $9 million in telecom hardware, over $15 million in overtime salaries, and close to $1 million spent on meals and travel expenses for OPP employees. The figures are provided by the Commons Government Operations Committee, who are still investigating the estimated $1 billion spent on the 2 meetings.
With the Haitian presidential elections just 2 days away, many residents are more concerned about cholera. Cholera has already killed around 1,500 people, and the group warns the number is going up. Turnout is expected to be low, and officials say a voter turnout of 40% or less might not be considered credible. Presidential candidate Charles Henry Baker says the vote should take place despite the circumstances. Baker says the lack of help in the cholera crisis is the fault of the current government. This will be the country's first presidential election since a devastating earthquake hit in January.
A German man has literally bricked himself into a corner. The pensioner attempted to seal off the entrance to his cellar when he trapped himself inside for several days. The man later drilled his way through the wall connected to his neighbor's house. Police were informed after the neighbors heard drilling noises. The man says he didn't realize what he'd done until the wall was completely built.
Now with the latest from the world of sports, here's Jared Lalonde.
I'm Jared Lalonde, and here's what's making news in sports. Humber's women's basketball team has finally broken the 500 mark with last night's 71-59 victory over the Fanshawe Falcons. The game got off to a slow start with the Hawks leading by only 2 at the half. But thanks to an all-star outing by veteran Caitlin Pauley, the Hawks were able to take control in the third. The Hawks are now 3-2 on the season and tied with Algoma for 3rd spot in their division, who they happen to play this Saturday. Humber's men's basketball team is also celebrating today as they knocked off Fanshawe 80-72 last night. In a wild back-and-forth shootout, the Hawks were able to hold on for the win in front of a 200-strong crowd at the Humber Athletic Center. With the win, the Hawks were able to keep their winning streak alive, remaining 5-0 on the season. The men will play again this Saturday against Algoma. Break out your barbecues and pork rinds, it's Grey Cup time in Canada. Thousands of football fans will be tailgating this weekend as they gear up for Sunday's 98th annual Grey Cup from Edmonton. In a repeat of last year's finals, the Saskatchewan Roughriders will be taking on the reigning champs, the Montreal Alouettes. The Owls took last year's cup with a last-minute field goal to cap off the 28-27 win. If Montreal can pull it off, they will be the first repeat champs since the Toronto Argonauts in 1996-97. The Toronto Maple Leafs will be looking to cure their road blues tonight as they take on the Sabres in Buffalo. The Leafs have been simply terrible on the road, remaining winless in their last 6 away games. But thankfully enough, the Sabres have also been struggling to win at home. The Leafs will be looking to capitalize on the slumping Sabres, whose top goalie Ryan Miller is still sidelined with a groin injury. The action begins tonight at 7:30. And the Vancouver Olympics may be over, but our Olympic heroes are continuing to shine. Canada's Melissa Hollingsworth placed second in the skeleton at the World Championships yesterday in Whistler, BC. This was redemption for Hollingsworth after a mistake in her final run cost her gold at the Vancouver Olympics. Although she missed gold again this time around, Hollingsworth said she was proud of her flawless performance. And that does it for sports. Now back to Kyle and Christina in the studio.
Thanks, Jared. After the break, Scott Money will have all your entertainment highlights.
We've got Darth Vader, a slap on the wrist for John Derringer, and a competition rewarding terrible art. All that and more after the break.